All right, it's your host, Gregory K. It's Chicago at its finest podcast for the masses, and we are here for episode 2, starring my co-anchor, Isabel Izzy. Please introduce yourself, please.
Hi, guys. Nice to see you again. My
There
name is
we
Izzy.
go. And now we're going to run into the next episode real quick. It is now another murderous, disastrous, terrible fucking excuse for a crime called the Chicago Ripper Crew.
Ooh.
Yeah, crazy. So from 1980 to 1982, these four guys. There was a fifth guy, but he got laid off.
Are they affiliated with the restaurant Five Guys?
No, but they make good burgers. So these guys terrorized the city for 2 years, abducting women and torturing them and doing cultish, satanic rituals on them and made them mutilate their bodies. I know. It's crazy because you know why? They all got caught in the end.
Good.
Exactly. Because it just tells you a lesson. Don't ever try to kill someone unless you know you're going to get caught. That's the mainstay.
Okay, that's pretty scary. My heart rate's like through the roof already.
Well, I'm just saying. And these guys wouldn't target, like, you know, they wouldn't go down to the loop, you know, and kidnap girls at the park. They would do it kind of on the outskirts of the city. People who are walking alone, sex workers even, you know, prostitutes that are working the strip. And they would kidnap them in their red van. They had a red van, like a red cargo van. And they throw them in the back of the van. And there'd be like 4 guys in there. And they would like start doing all kind of weird ass shit with them. And it would turn out they would kill them, use them for satanic rituals.
That's insane. Why a red van?
I know, like Clifford the Big Red Dog. You don't think the Big Red Dog's going to get you, but it's a van and it got you.
I feel like red is so obnoxious. If you're going to do something like that, why not be more undercover? I mean, really, like, that's just...
Like brown or black.
That's really scary.
What about green?
What is the history behind it being red? Is it just because they wanted to correlate it with the satanic?
Murder. Blood.
Mm.
They want blood in the van. You know, the first thing I think about is like 4 guys. And like being that I am in my 30s, late 30s, and thinking about criminality at least, I don't necessarily think that I need to throw girls in a van. I'd be out there robbing purses, picking pockets. I'm about that money. This isn't about money. This is about simply the fact that they are mentally disturbed and have to kill people to settle their nerves. It's disgusting. But, so this took place in Chicago and extended all the way out before they got caught in Elmhurst and Villa Park from Clarendon Hills and Barrington as well. Like they stretched that far out into the suburbs and came back, and that's when they got popped.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time in Elmhurst and Villa Park. I spent a lot of time, I mean, I grew up around here, so I'm very familiar with all the suburbs, and it's so scary to hear about the history coming from the suburbs and everything.
I don't know how the process they went through. Like I read the criminal file. Like I stated to you before we started this recording that I had a criminal investigator send me his file on the whole entire case, and it details everything. Like there's a book that was written by someone just based on this case alone, like a novel, like put it on, like you buy it at Barnes Noble. And these guys would take the time, and they weren't like ugly guys, supposedly. They were like good-looking guys that would pass off that they could get the girl. Like if they were trying to be like, kidnap like working-class girls, like on a strip, like they would easily be found. Like they were supposed to be like good-looking guys. And then they would get them in the van and start their mission and like torture them. And then they would take them to this house in like an attic and like seriously like go to town on them, like these chicks.
You know, unfortunately, some things never change. I feel like ladies nowadays, even if a guy is attractive, especially on dating apps, he's not safe. He's not always safe. You have to do your research. People can pose as people they're not. You know, I mean, they can catfish you. They can, I mean, even if it's the same pictures and everything seems real, they could change their name on you. And they could really be like a felon or a rapist or a murderer who got let out early or something.
It's not fair to women for sure, because let me ask you something. You're a working class woman. Like you already got off. Let's say you have an off period before you go back to your pimp on the street, and you're walking down to get something to eat, right? Then you get abducted because you want a cheeseburger. That's fucked up.
I just want my cheeseburger.
I want the cheeseburger and the fries and a drink and a water and everything else I want, but I can't because now 4 guys drag me into their van and put me under. That's terrible.
I just wanted my Diet Dr. Kelp. SpongeBob.
I mean, the worst part about it is they did it in the form of a cultish like segment, like a satanic ritual. So, what part of Satan says? And we talked about satanic before. What part of Satan says you have to do this? I don't get. I thought Satanist was just like you're just believing in someone who's opposite of what you think you have. You have what you need. You believe in what you do, and it would do was good enough to be this person. That's the same as all religions. It's the fact that it's Satanist, and you just believe in a pentagram and Lucifer and all that. Whatever the fuck it is. But now these guys are abusing that privilege, and using that name and that tone to abduct women off the street and then kill them. And then don't even get me started on what they did after that. I don't even want to tell you.
I really feel like those type of things come down to power. I think if you really try to, I mean, I obviously haven't done much research into cults because that's very scary, but I do think that obviously similar to like a dictatorship and a cult, it's all about power. I mean, if you're going to rape someone, you're having all that power over them. You're stronger than them. You're taking authority. You're not giving them a choice. So I do think when it comes to satanic things and rituals, I mean, all they want is power. And I just can never understand being in the mind of a rapist. Like, that's just so crazy to me.
It's disgusting. I agree. It's all about power. It's control freaks. Something happened in their lives in between what they did now and then what they did before. And it drives them to feel like they have to exert so much force on someone to make them do what they want to do without the concern, like what they have to control. So these guys would do weird stuff with they would mutilate the bodies. Let's just say they would cut off limbs and they would do weird rituals with it, like drink the blood and do all kind of weird stuff. And for me, that's disturbing because, like, hygienically, that's not healthy. You can't drink blood. You can't drink someone else's blood. It's called blood transfusion for HIV/AIDS for a reason, because you're going to get it. So this guy had no shot anyway if he got caught.
Yeah. I also think it's very unhealthy to cut off your limbs.
Yeah. I mean, what happened? There's some woman down the line that actually got away from it and was able to call further down in their career. There was a woman who got called because she called the police and she was half mutilated and got the police on the phone. They found her and they brought her in, and that's how they caught the guys. One of the reasons I caught the guys because they found this woman and she was half dead.
Wow. Kudos to her. Was this in Chicago?
Yeah, it's Chicago, Elmhurst, Villa Park, Clarendon Hills, Barrington, all around that area within DuPage County and into the city limits. Like they started in Chicago at the outskirts and like drew themselves into the suburbs and came back, and that's when they got caught.
Wow.
So our criminal masterminds here are Edward Spritzer, Robin Gecht, Andrew Cocorales, and Thomas Cocorales. And boy, these guys got a little IQ on them because they didn't do a lot to cover themselves up, because they got caught with everything they've ever done through all the victims they ever got caught with. And,
how would they cover themselves up?
well, first of all, you don't leave body parts in a trunk somewhere in your attic. They would leave the body parts they mutilated in a trunk in someone's attic. Like, it was like Spritzer or Gecht's mom's house. And they went to the attic and they had a trunk and they put the body parts in there. And when they found out there was a lead to find the guys, they found this trunk and found all the body parts.
Wouldn't that stink up the house? Wouldn't it start rotting and like smell your house or create a type of mold?
Exactly. It's not hygienic. I don't think these people. When I find a hygienic serial killer, I know he got away because he put on the hand sanitizer.
He
He used the bleach.
hands.
He used the bleach. He cleaned up after himself, and then he got away. She could get away too. You could get away. It was crime.
Well, I don't think I would actually be involved with cutting off limbs, but that's pretty crazy how that happened in the suburbs, and we now just casually drive through the suburbs not even knowing, like, maybe we walked past the same spot someone was like mutilated.
Exactly, because when you think about a major populated area, you think there's more opportunities for someone to get away with a crime, whether it's robbery, theft, murder, some sort, than the suburbs, which is a little more distant. Because when you subtract yourself from the city limits into the suburbs and then into the country, the spacing between everything begins more proximity.
Right.
So someone who pickpockets someone on the Madison Drive or Madison Street can find out they got caught because someone found them and they saw them on a camera these days. Unless they saw them back then because someone testified against them, saw they found it. Otherwise, in the suburbs, they have to span their whole entire area to a whole entire greater proximity to find out where they happen.
Yeah.
So, and like these women aren't all the same type of women. There's black women, there's white women, there's Asian women. They all got it. I mean, they all took bits of dust. So it's weird for me to say because as a single guy, I don't think I'd ever imagine myself getting so frustrated that I have to just abduct women and kill them.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I feel like that should be a really good normal thing for men to not ever get those type of feelings. And if you do, you need to lock yourself in a cage and never come out. So who was the women or the woman who survived and, you know, made the history of them getting caught?
I think Beverly Washington, there was a woman got kidnapped and then escaped from a van and then found a payphone and called the police half dead because they stabbed her a bunch of times and they dropped her because they didn't want to get caught. And then they found her. I think it might have been Beverly Washington before she died.
Strong woman.
It's crazy. I mean, being from the dating pool, as a single man, being from the dating pool, you don't automatically think if I'm not going to succeed, I'm going to kill some bitch. You don't think about that.
You know what? I have something to say about this. First of all, unfortunately, I do think I'm not the type of person to say I hate all men. I know there are a lot of people that do that. I do understand where people come from when they say that. And I wouldn't even say I'm like an extreme feminist either. I feel like I'm in the middle. I'm a very traditional woman. Like I do believe in love. I do believe in women empowerment. I think that we're amazing and I consider myself a boss ass bitch. But I will say it is really, really, really scary to this day. I don't care what day and age it is. Unfortunately, a lot of men cannot handle rejection. And it is really, really sad. And I'm really young. I'm 25. I'm literally mid-20s. And it's men who are even older, which is like so backwards. You would think that they'd mature and that they wouldn't be this kind of way. But there's just so many men that they just can't handle rejection, or they don't even take rejection. They just try and throw it back in your face. I mean, there's such sad stories of basically men getting upset and then like throwing acid in a woman's face and then ruining her face. So, you know, it's kind of like that mindset, like, oh, if I can't hate it, then nobody can. Like, dude, go to hell and like burn and never come back. Like,
it's because dating for love and dating for relationship status are different things. And when people put authenticity on it and actually think they're valued more than the other, it becomes a competition. So when men feel like they fail, it's like 10 times worse for them to fail than it is to one time succeed because they don't have that exception. So people who are mentally disabled and via mental disorders, that they have insanity as part of the disorder or some kind of functionality they have, if they fail, it fails a million times more than someone else would just say you didn't cook the winning goal of a soccer game. And that like really drives them to do really stupid shit.
yeah. And you know, I wish that they can handle that because like that is their problem and they project it and then they hurt women. And as much as I do believe we should be equal, I do think obviously men are stronger. I mean, biologically, you guys take control and take power and you're natural leaders. So it is really sad when people, especially when men have disorders and issues, like it's just scary. You literally never know. You could be literally going on a date with a psychopath, especially on a dating app. Again, dating apps are so scary to me. I cannot, like, I'm not the pessimistic mindset type of girl, but I will say I would be extremely cautious on a dating app because you just never know who you're going to come across.
Those are very unequal times when you come to dating apps because you have so frequent people who visit them who are undescribed as who they are rather than people who already visit them and who are already who they are and want to find out who they want to be with someone else there already is. That's the problem. So you're supposed to be on the honor system, right? The honor system says I post my video, my feed, my photo of me and in my bio, and you post the same equivalent of yourself, and we match and meet in the same timeline or same wave frequency. That's not how it happens. That's why I swipe left. You know that joke about swipe left?
Isn't it swipe right?
Swipe, whatever, swipe right.
I'm just kidding. I don't know. I'm just knocking you.
Swipe, whatever it is. When someone swipes you the wrong way and you calculate that yourself in total, it's detrimental to your cause because you're not succeeding. And that drives you to do crazy shit, like trying to think about ways to get out of it because you're trapped. And you know, people on dating apps take it so seriously that they can't control themselves and their emotions and their actions because they have no limitations at that point. It's like, well, she didn't accept me. That's the one I wanted. Well, there's thousands of them out there, but I don't want them. You know, they have this one drive and you got to like kick their peg out their bikes so they fall down. So they realize that there's actually more than one person in this world that you can match out with. It just happens to be the one that you want at that time. So it's like,
Yeah. I'm a big believer in what's meant for you is meant for you and it won't pass you. You know, obviously if you go down the right paths and like trust your gut and intuition, et cetera, et cetera. But yeah, the world is so big and so small at the same time. I mean, there's what, almost 8 billion people now on this earth? I know it's 7 billion.
8.5.
Oh, 8.5. There's 8.5 billion people on this earth. And I mean, you mean to tell me that the person you think is your soulmate is in the same city as you? I don't think so. I mean, I think it's really, really rare that you find the love of your life in the same city, in the same town. I mean, I do believe in invisible string theory and stuff like that. But I mean, come on. I feel like there's got to be a statistic out there.
Yeah.
Like every maybe 1 out of 10 guys, like they're linked to their great grandpa or uncle was like some serial killer or maybe one of these guys. I mean, what's your last name?
Copy. It's Copperman,
Looking a little
not
similar
Cocorales.
to
It's not
Cocorales
Cocorales.
there.
No, it's not.
You sure they didn't like,
No.
change it over time?
K-O-P-P-E-L-M-A-N. Not Cocorales. I'm not a serial killer.
All right.
I agree with you. Like, there was an exchange at some point in popular culture where women with the Me Too movement started to push forward saying that we're going to say no. And there's a lot of things that took place after that and a lot of things that are still instilled after that men have to go through. Like old school people like me, I love going on the street, like getting a coffee, buying coffee behind someone behind me, telling a girl she looks pretty and doing that stuff. That's how I do it. But like, that's dead because women have their earbuds in, they have their headphones in, they got their dogs, and they don't want to pay any attention because they think everyone's a perpetrator.
Okay. I have something to say about that. I actually do see what you're saying because 9 times out of 10, whenever I'm walking the street alone, I feel like it's really about the approach. Obviously, if a guy is nice to me and it's like the right setting, I wouldn't be as scared. But I feel like a lot of guys nowadays, they like don't know how to approach a woman. And especially with all the crazy things
Gen
that
Z.
I mean, probably you too. I'm just kidding. I don't know.
Millennials, Gen Z millennials.
But I do think if you approach me correctly, I'm not going to be as scared. I mean, for example, I really respect the guys. If I'm walking alone at night and they see that I'm walking alone and they're also walking alone, they'll like cross the street just so they're not on the same side as me. I think that's the sweetest thing. I mean, of course, I'm not going to like immediately think like, oh, he's going to strangle me. Like, this is my time. This is it. But obviously it does cross my mind and I do have to be wary and I have to be mindful. So, whenever there is a guy and I'm like, it's alone at night and I'm in a city or it's like 1 a.m. or something, I'm obviously going to be very attentive. And I do this now. If I'm walking alone and a guy like walk past me, I look behind me to make sure that, he doesn't like run up on me. And that's sad that I have to do that, but it's so necessary. But I do think it is very respectful when guys kind of clock that beforehand and they take initiative or they like move away. Or I know there was like a funny TikTok of a guy that was like, when you're on a hike on a beautiful trail and you see a girl, so you start acting gay, like, hey, bestie, so she feels comfortable. I love that, embrace your masculinity and be feminine and make me feel safe, so I don't feel like I'm not going to get kidnapped knowing that a guy saw me and he's going to come get me later.
So for me, like, I don't approach people at night based on the fact that it's just dangerous for both parties. So every time I try to pass a compliment to a woman, it's usually during the daytime or the morning. And when I do it, it's just that I'm passing by and I say, a nice shirt, girl. Love those shoes, girl. I love the way your hair looks, girl. And I just say that. And some of them actually go like, thank you. That's the good ones. Some of them are just like so in tune with themselves. Like, I get that because you don't care about it. You don't want to hear about it. But like, for me, it's security isn't, for my views, as someone who does old school stuff, security is a problem with you because you are so out of tune with what's going on around you that you couldn't even take time to represent a compliment that I said to you because you have your ear pods on and your headphones on and you're oblivious to what's going around with you, that somebody else could just take advantage of you right in front of me.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I grew up very close with my dad. I mean, both my parents, of course, but my dad always told me growing up to be extremely aware. And a lot of my friends tell me that I'm like very aware and they kind of trust me naturally to be like, whenever we're on vacation, I'm navigating or I hold everyone's identifications, whatever, I don't know. But I'm very, very, very alert. And I would never say I'm oblivious. I can't speak for all women, but I do think a thing that women should work on is definitely not being oblivious when you're in public because yes, you're right. People can take advantage. And it's really easy. Like, for example, every time I get in the car, I lock my doors right away. You never know. People can abduct you out of your car. You know, I mean, maybe it won't be like out of a
Yeah.
red van, but I mean, they can still grab you. I mean, people nowadays, this is the modern version of the red van, guys. They can they can park next to you and then watch you get in your car, but right before you close your doors, they'll just like come grab you, put you in their car, and boom,
Yeah.
no one will ever know you're gone.
Yeah. And
It's
these
too
girls
late.
had no chance because they didn't have that technology.
Yeah,
And they weren't listening to headphones. They couldn't dial the 911 on the phone.
right.
They had nothing. They were just scooped,
Yeah,
put in the van, and that was the end of your life.
no life alert button either.
Nothing. No falling in the tub bathroom button. Nothing. Nothing of that. And that's crazy because I don't believe in Satan. So when when people do something in the name of Satan, I'm just like, you're just committing a crime. I don't care about satanic rituals or cultists because you're just committing a crime. All you're doing is trying to pursue everyone else's idea about what you're doing is right or wrong. So if you say I'm satanic and I'm a cultist and I'm doing this in the name of whatever the fuck it is, it's not because you're doing it in that name. It's because you're just trying to get away with a crime. So I just know you're just a criminal. And these guys eventually got popped anyway. So they got caught. They got questioned. Some guys offered information. Some guys didn't. And then after that, they all got arrested. The Robin Geck was convicted on the Beverly Washington murder for 120-year sentence. So he was gone. He's gone.
Good.
He's done. He's not going to do anything but get raped and murdered in prison. Because you know in prison rules, they find out what you're charged for, they do a double.
Oh yeah, of course. And don't drop the soap.
Yeah. Never take a shower. Say no. Thomas Kokorales had a life sentence in prison, but then was reduced to 70 years. And he got out in 2019 after 35 years served. So he's walking around the streets now, dumb as fuck, old as fuck, probably living out of fucking shelters. He probably doesn't have any money. No one respects him. And, you know, he's not going to have anything in life because of his memories about doing some stupid ass shit.
You know what? See, ladies, and I guess gents, I don't know. This goes to show that you could literally walk right past a serial killer or a murder or like a serial rapist and you wouldn't even know. So it's just so important to always watch your back and don't be oblivious.
Yeah, when you're wearing your over-the-ear headphones or your AirPods, you just have to understand it's the same rules if you weren't using them. So if you're not using your AirPods and you're not using over-your headphones, and you see people, guys, girls, children, dogs, women, doesn't matter, elderly, you have to pay attention the same way. It doesn't matter. You can't block everyone out. Not because someone can't hit on you and get your number. It's because it's the same effect.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so aware to the point where even when I'm walking on the street and there's, you know, a busy street next to me, not to think like in a Final Destination mindset, but you never know. What if there's a car crash and the car comes flying at you and you don't know because you're blasting Chief Keef in your AirPods? Like, come on. You know, like that's just insane.
exactly.
Usually if I do have AirPods in, it's always only one AirPod, or if I have both in, it's on transparency mode. So you can hear what's around you.
Yeah.
I mean, even then, even if you have your volume up in transparency mode, I feel like although it's transparency, you're still going to not be able to hear anything. So, you know, it's just really important to have common sense. I mean, come on, don't be so oblivious and just like have your headphones in and then not hear anything.
Common sense escapes us all because we're so used to things doing it for us. We want our technology to do it for us. We want people to do it for us. We want our dogs to do it for us. We want everything to do it for ourselves so we don't have to. So when we have that option to rely on it, it's all gone. Out the window. Done.
Yeah, I don't know. In a way, I feel like that's satanic within itself.
It is. Exactly. That's bowing down to someone who is lower than you and wants to be greater than you. It's the same problem.
Yeah. I feel like the government and just US healthcare and everything, like it's just so satanic ridden. I mean, I don't think that we have like, although we have great technology, those hospital bills are insane. Taxes are insane, especially for Illinois.
Oh my God, insurance. It's a scam.
Don't even get me started.
Well, Andrew Kokorales got the death sentence. His brother Thomas got the 121 life sentence, but Andrew got the death sentence, and he was the last one in Illinois to really close out the death sentence in the state.
What an honor.
Yeah, he's the last one. The guy who did this shit. Mutilated some girl.
Can't
So
believe his brother's just walking around the streets to this day.
I know, after 35 years served in 2019.
That's not enough.
I kind of want to find him and like beat his ass.
I would not be mad at you for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, there's just so much to discuss. Like, dating on its own is a hazard, and like, love is a hazard. Like, love has become something that's so detrimental to anyone's way of living because you have to think about so much to prepare for, and when people don't prepare, they're unprepared, and that
Yeah.
hurts them because they don't know what to do in time to do it.
I do feel like on the flip side, there are real, genuine people out there, and there are real men that have a good head on their shoulders and they're focused. And okay, not to sound hypocritical. I'm on Instagram. I'm also a sign model. I do some things on the side. And as a model, it is like my business to promote myself. And my Instagram can be my portfolio. I also show my personality and stuff like that. But I don't use Instagram as an outlet to like, I don't know, show off or attract people. Like it's a business standpoint for me. But I will say I would prefer a man that is not on social media. Not because I'm hiding anything. It has nothing to do with me. I feel like it's more about his values. I feel like now in this day and age, there are a lot of men who just don't care to be on social media. And I find that attractive. I think it's great. Like you don't need to be on social media. I mean, I don't really either, but I feel like I do because for what I do. I mean, at least for now. Maybe if I'm married and have kids, like there's no reason for me to post on social media unless I want to be a mommy influencer or something. But who knows? I mean, why would the man be on social media?
Well, it's one big thing because all the girls on social media are fake. They get editing apps and they fake out their bodies and their faces. If you go on Instagram and you're on there for more than 30 days and you don't find a fake woman, you're lucky. Because
That's true.
a lot of girls who aren't actually models take photos of themselves and find these apps that will distort their body types and their faces to make them look like anime chicks or Kardashians or something like that. And then like they won't look normal and they multiply.
Yeah, that's true. There are a lot of women who do that. I don't do that. And a lot of other people don't do that. I feel like, again, it's like a diamond in the rough. There are gems that you can find, and not everyone does that. So although it is kind of a normal thing nowadays, it's not really like everyone. So I get it. If you want to have Instagram to like keep up with your buddies and stuff like that. Like, for example, I never use Snapchat, but I have Snapchat because my best friends use Snapchat. So I just watch their stories. I don't really watch anyone else's, and then I exit the app. So, you know, I think it's fine if you have social media as long as you're not like, I don't know, doom scrolling and using it as like an outlet or something like that.
Well, it's a pattern that involves because people evolve into this pattern that they find they have times a day where they should look at this stuff. And it could be half an hour or 45 minutes or an hour. And it can extend to 2 hours and they keep doing it. So when they see videos, they watch videos all day. When they see photos, they look at photos all day and they participate all day. And it becomes a habit. And then the habit becomes a life form. And then a life form because that's the life they have. And they have nothing else to do or say about it because that's all they're doing. And they developed all these things in their head and their mind. They can't circulate and correct their thoughts and become psychotic because they're just based on the fact that they're addicted to using social media. Like we joked about Gen Z and millennials, but a lot of Gen Z and millennials are addicted to social media. And that's all they do. Surf it all day long, look at the videos all day long, look at the photos all day long, and nothing good comes of it because they have poor body image. And they commit suicide and they do all this weird ass stuff because they can't handle the fact that they're not exactly who they are.
Yeah, you know what this reminds me of, guys? Social media is actually really scary. And I never post in real time. Again, I feel like this is common sense, but unfortunately, like you said earlier, it slips a lot of us. I refuse to let that slip from me because for me, it's life or death. I feel like if a girl, especially a pretty girl or like a model or something, whatever, if she's posting in real, or any girl, honestly, literally any girl, because guys are insane. They'd like rape anything with legs, like seriously. But
Gross.
honestly, if you post in real time, there are guys out there who will look at that and track you right away. I mean, AI, they can plug it into AI and be like, where is she right now? Tell me what hotel she's at right now. Based on the picture, is the room facing east, west, north, or south? What side of the building do you think she's on? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
People do that nowadays and they'll find you.
It's insane.
I actually have a crazy story. I was on Rush Street. What was that restaurant? It was like Tavern on Rush. Yeah, Tavern on Rush. And there was the Bears football team there. And my best friend, she absolutely loves football. And her favorite football idol, which is on the Bears, he posted in real time that he was at a restaurant, Tavern on Rush. And she was like, oh my God, we were around the corner, by the way. And she was like, wait, this is crazy. Like, he's like my idol. Let's see if he's actually there. And, you know, literally 5 minutes later, he deleted his story because he probably realized, oh shit, I shouldn't have posted that. We literally were creeps. We went to Tavern on Rush. There was the Bears football team. And we actually started talking with them too. So, you know, that just goes to show you literally never know who's looking at your stories. People can make a spam account nowadays. You know, I wonder if the serial killers, like for example, Thomas, right? He's free right now from as of 2019, right?
Andrew.
Andrew. I wonder if he has social media. or like has a burner account. He's like on TikTok, like, I wish I could have another victim or something. Like
Wow.
that's so
I mean,
scary.
maybe it was Thomas, but I agree with you because like the more advanced we get for individualized use of how we can track things, it's more harder to come by than if the government does it for ourselves. But we have the same problem. If the government does it for us, then we should do it for someone else. And if we can't do it for someone else, the government should do it for us. It's the same reciprocation. We shouldn't be able to do it, period, because it doesn't mean anything. But we don't want to do, if we want to find out where the hottest restaurant is at that point in time, we want someone to direct us to where it is. The directions, the rating, the amount of people who are there, the busy times, that's what we want. But if we don't get it, then we get frustrated and we never blame everything else around us, plus that service. And they get bad ratings and we can't get anything out of it. And that means that we have a slowdown of technology. It just slopes because nobody else wants to use it because they're not getting their hands on it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's cause and effect. Like, how do you place it in your hands, do what you're supposed to do, and give it up without having to do things that you wanted to do?
Around the world, there's a lot of countries that actually banned TikTok, and we actually almost went through that. I don't know if you guys remember.
Yeah,
I feel like it was
China.
a political stunt, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't think it was ever going to get banned here, and it was just, I don't know. But I think in India, TikTok is banned, and there's a lot of other countries where social media is banned. And I think that's like, obviously the government wants to control because, again, there's so much information on social media. We can like educate ourselves on so many things that we probably shouldn't even be knowing, or the government doesn't want us to know. So that's a really crazy topic to think about.
I don't know. What we can learn is that murder is not good, rape's not good, and torture, abduction, and mutilation is not good, everybody. So when you come across this episode and learn at the end of the day, Izzy, we do not capture women off the boat and throw it in the bus.
Exactly. And women, stay alert, don't stay oblivious, and be on 10.
Be on 10, be on 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. How about that?
Yeah.
Because I don't want that to happen. Because when I pass compliments, I want to see you alive, not dead.
There
How
you
about
go.
that? Good.